I have the honor and very distinct pleasure of introducing our last speaker. Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Torlakson is the elected chief school officer in California for 6.3 million students, attending 10,000 schools in 1,100 districts across the state. When I talk to my other colleagues about California, all of them say, how do you do it? And I think when we look to Superintendent Torlakson, one of the things we need to say is, how do you do it? He began his career as a teacher and a championship-winning 12 championships in cross-country in a Title I eligible school before being elected to public office. He earned a BA in history and a master's in education, both from UC Berkeley. Superintendent Torlakson served as a fireman in the United States Merchant Marine and a member of the Marines Fire Union, earning the Vietnam Service Medal. He was born in San Francisco and now lives in Pittsburgh with his wife, May. A lot of you, I'm sure, haven't met the superintendent before. The superintendent's job is a busy one, and he travels all around the state. But I want to share with you some of the things that this superintendent has done to support you. Whether you see him or not, whether you know him or not, these are things that he has done to support arts education in California. Before he was even inaugurated, he sent his chief policy advisor, his chief advisor in the Senate, to the Education Leaders Institute that I talked about earlier, the result being Create California. He hadn't even been sworn in, and he committed himself, his highest ranking advisor, to attend this meeting. So he committed himself to arts education in California at that early stage. Since then, he named the Arts Education Task Force, bringing over 100 arts educators together to put together a blueprint for creative schools. One thing about this superintendent is he believes in blueprints. He believes in getting the foundation down. And it was a huge commitment to the arts for him to create a task force to put together a blueprint for creative schools. He initiated the exemplary arts programs that has kept arts programs in hundreds of California elementary and high schools. He initiated the connection with STEM education by talking at last November's STEM conference about STEAM education and the value of the arts in the STEM movement. He supported the Model Demonstration Site program we talked earlier about, and many of you have had a chance to hear from Model Demonstration Sites. And Superintendent Torlakson supported this program from the beginning. He supported the partnership with the California Film Commission that you've heard about here. He supported the National Arts Ed Data Project. And most importantly to all of us, he supported the Arts, Media, and Entertainment Leadership Institute that you've been attending for the last 2 days. This is a leader in California who puts his money where his mouth is, and his money is definitely behind arts education. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Superintendent Tom Torlakson.
Good afternoon. Is it a great day? Are you having a great time? Well, thank you. And Pat, wonderful presentation. Data matters. And Jack is just an incredible champion, awesome leader, valiant, working hard to keep the arts in focus and keep it alive and well in my administration, my department. And I just want to thank you for that leadership and the hours and hours of thinking and working and planning and doing to put this conference together. Let's hear it for Jack Mitchell. So he did say that there was going to be high and creative, positive energy here. And so he warned me and said to get ready for him. So you needed to do your normal thing, which is run in the morning, get the endorphins kicked in, and have 4 cups of coffee. So between the caffeine and the endorphins, and most importantly, because of you and your positive energy. I'm revved up and ready to be here. So you're revved up for the rest of this conference? Ready to go? You know, when I took office as superintendent, I wanted to see the arts really focused on as a high priority for every student in a quality way that you've been talking about. And so I approached it, as I did as a coach and science teacher, with the team theme. You know what the team theme is? You know how you spell team? Four letters, T-E-A-M. And what's it stand for? Together, everyone accomplishes more. And you're the dream team in that respect in terms of the arts and the media and the entertainment worlds, to open those up to our students, to connect to their inner strengths and talents, to have them believe in themselves and have that self-confidence. And so I think it's really important that teamwork is key to success. And I look out, and I've talked to a number of you, look at this incredible team that's here today of educators, administrators, visiting artists, performers, industry, and business leaders. And all of you, Pat said, are incubators, right? You feel like an incubator? You're a stimulator, you're an inspirer, and that is so important. So I just want to say thank you for being here and being ready to expand arts and AME education in our schools, back in your districts. You are truly champions, and we need you on the AME education team. And you're leading the way in what I'm calling a renaissance of public education in public schools in California. And you're at the forefront of that movement. I believe that AME education should not be viewed as a luxury, but as a necessity. As you stress and say over and over, it's a chance for children to exercise their minds, hands-on, minds-on, to develop their creativity, the critical thinking skills that will help them be the innovators of tomorrow. So we're all working together with the new standards and the whole exciting set of changes in education, but it's to prepare our students better for 21st century careers in college, to be able to compete in the global economy, and to be able to satisfy yourself and have some fun along the way and have a good career. And arts education, therefore, has been and will continue to be a huge and top priority for me and my department. We did create the Blueprint Task Force work and came out with the Blueprint for Creative Schools, and I consider it a springboard for our action. And you might ask, well, what has happened so far with the work that was done, the 100 who came together? It's been demonstrated, it's been implemented across schools and districts around the state. And this one indicator of some progress since I took office back about 5 years ago now, we had 45,000 students enrolled in AME courses. How many do we have today? 162,000. So that's about 4 times as much as before. Is that pretty good? That's a big increase. And we are combining it, and you are linking it so positively and creatively with career technical education. The AME accounts, by the way, in partnership academies, which are career academies, for 72 out of the 400 partnership academies in the state of California. So leading the way among all business sectors in these wonderful career programs. We are near an outstanding example of such programs in the Coronado School of the Arts, an AME demonstration site where students and leaders and teachers will be doing some incredible things and sharing their good work and their exciting products at that school. And I just want to do a shout out to Shane Schmeichel as a great leader. Just stand up. And Jeff Felix, please stand up, the superintendent of Coronado District. And someone who had a vision back in 1996, who I met today, was very inspired. Do you know Chris McClune? Where's Chris? Stand up, Chris, and let's just thank her. 1996, she started the school within the School Arts Academy. By the way, we have got the legislation, the governor focused on career technical education, and they put about $1 billion out. My department's put it out in grants, and Jack's been very central in moving the money and putting it to creative good work. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we gave another $230,000 to the Coronado School of the Arts that I just mentioned. And so we're seeing it put to really good work, and putting a spotlight on that, you'll be able to share that around the state, and then show our voters and our residents what a wise use of money and tax dollars in the way we're spending it. The blueprint, again, underscores a call for making sure that all students have access to arts education, and the teacher training in the arts is improved, and that partnerships between schools and nonprofits and businesses are strengthened. The demand for qualified graduates will keep on growing. The California creative industries output last year totaled over $300 billion, 1.5 million jobs. On a personal note, I also know from firsthand experience how important the arts can be in motivating, teaching, and enriching the lives of students. I saw it as a coach, as a science teacher in the classroom, but I also saw it in my own family. Both my daughters were very involved in theater from grade school through high school, both school and community theater. My older daughter did some theater work in college. My wife was a professional singer, and one of my brothers is a professional artist and a community college art teacher. The whole family was involved in one way. Both my brothers were in bands during the rock and roll in 60s, so we had the electric guitars and the amplifiers you could turn up so high that your whole head vibrated, but the way the whole family was involved, they would bring the band to the garage and practice, and all my mom's knickknacks and china would move around as the house vibrated, but that's how they did it. And what they benefited from was, at that time in the 1960s, before any of you were born, well, maybe Jack and I are in the same age range, but at that time they had wonderful drama, music, and arts programs and dance programs in our schools, and so my own family benefited directly. And we've seen, unfortunately, that retreat during the recession away from an investment in the arts, but it's coming back. Again, it's a renaissance, as I call it, as we're moving forward. So we want to see more of that. Where we had the cutbacks, there is some good news. I'll just share very briefly and quickly, and see if you can use a new acronym. You've heard about ESSA, ESSA, the new federal act. You remember No Child Left Behind? We've left it behind because they left the money behind. We've left that one behind, right? We're glad about that. We weren't sure. 1 year ago, I was in a meeting with President Obama and another 12 superintendents, leaders for additional 12 states. We had a meeting that went from 10 minutes to a half hour, and he talked passionately about his goals of seeing a new Education Act and seeing it really reach out to help all children reach their potential. And lo and behold, while we were a little doubtful because it had been 10, 12 years before there had been any movement on the new federal law, it finally happened, and he signed the bill in December. I was thinking we might want to, it stands for Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, E-S-S-A, but what if it stood for Every Student Stimulated by AME? How do you like that? ESSA, Every Student Stimulated by AME Education. And by the way, one early dividend we had from the new change and the new law is we were being forced as a Title I sanction against quote-unquote failing schools, being defined just by simple data points in a negative way, Pat. And so we were having $250 million a year tied up in these tutoring programs called the SES. I didn't know if you were aware of that, but Title I schools lost control of that money. We got a waiver to get all that money back. So there's $250 million that can be spent by your school boards and your superintendents on the arts programs. How about that? You can just get out in front. So I just want to wrap with this, stimulating you to think about where we are. We are at this turning point, a renaissance of the arts and a renaissance of public education. We're seeing the arts and arts educated with other curriculum and subject matters. We're seeing more of our civics and science, careers, environmental education, career education. We are seeing more computers. We're seeing dance. We're seeing smaller class sizes coming back. So this is all good news, right? But will we sustain the momentum? And that's a choice that's in our hands and our friends' hands. And so I'm asking you to go out and share news about Prop 30 renewal. That's $8 billion a year. And I'll just give you a reason why we should think about that. California, with all the infusion of new money that's been helpful and created this momentum, is 42nd in the nation in per pupil spending. Just to give you an example, 3 years ago when we took the last measurement, California invested $8,200 per pupil. New York and New Jersey were $20,000, well over twice as much as California. Vermont and Wyoming were $16,000, double California. Wyoming, double California. I'm sorry, anybody here from Wyoming? It's okay. you have leaders that are wise, that are investing in education. So to keep the momentum going, I do believe strongly that we must expand our investment in education. We can't stand for being 42nd in the nation. We're a state of great creativity and wealth and capacity, and we should be back up in the top 10 of the nation where we were in the 1960s and 1970s. So I say that, and I say also in November there will also be on the ballot a $9 billion school facilities measure, which the maintenance needs and facilities needs are competing with programs like art, music, and drama, higher education, and early learning. And so investing and saying yes will be a big boost and help our schools succeed even more. So are you ready to invest, to say yes to invest for our students? Truly, it is all about their dreams and our ability to help them realize their dreams. And because of you and thousands like you, I'm truly inspired, and I am optimistic. I'm optimistic about California public schools and where they're going, and I do believe the voters will say yes to invest. And I believe that California creativity and determination with the arts flourishing and media and entertainment leading the world, we will have an even brighter future. Do you believe that? Are you optimists? Yes. If you're an optimist and you're part of this AME team, you need to congratulate your partners around your table and neighboring tables. So shake their hand, pat them on the back, stand up, and say thank you. We can do this. We can do this. Stand up, exert some energy. You can even hug the person next to you. You can hug the person next to you. Say thank you, AME. Momentum on AME. You can do this. You're optimists. You're the AME team. All right. Thank you.